Hello, everybody. I hope everything is good. I hope you are good, and I hope you are having a fantastic day. And it's a fantastic day for me because I've decided to record another video. On the last video, I'm not gonna talk about the last video. If you wanna check it, go check it. It's the first video in the channel. Really appreciate it so much. And in this video, what I'm aiming for, because this is a new channel, I'm aiming for this video to at least have one subscriber, one viewer, and one like. Done. You don't have to do much, just one subscriber, one viewer, one like. Done. Then we can kick it on from here and build this, channel together as we go. And today's video is very subjective. Today's video is very controversial. Today's video and a topic that I'm gonna talk about is something that finally drains me when I come to think of it when I'm with my mates. So very draining, and I like the fact that I'm gonna talk about it and share my thoughts with you guys. So let's crack on into it. And the topic is the Ballon d'Or. As simple as that. The Ballon d'Or rankings that have been released by Fabrizio Romano, they are actually insane. I've seen it actually insane, and I believe there are some of the names that don't deserve to be as ranked as they are in this video, in this on these rankings. So I'm just gonna read how Fabrizio Romano players, and I believe they are very controversial and they are very subjective on how we view this. So the first player that I saw on the list, and I wrote them down on a piece of paper, like I got 2 pages here of stats and everything, that these players that they've been ranked, all of this, they are going to be very, very specific. I did some researches when I woke up in the morning, and then did some researches, and I found, I don't know how accurate this, bear with me guys, I don't know how accurate these stats are. I took them mostly, I did some researches, and some of them I'm from Transfer Market, which is a very reliable website, or whatever you want to call it. So Ousmane Dembele tops the rankings of this Ballon d'Or. I'm not surprised because they won the Champions League, but I still believe that Ousmane Dembele started to perform in January, and as much as I love Ousmane Dembele, I don't think he's a contender. I don't think he should be a contender of winning the Ballon d'Or. Basically, it's because he started to perform in January. Where was he when the season started? A lot of my mates, when I tell them about this, they say he doesn't win the Ballon d'Or because of the Champions League. And this is a very serious conversation I had with them, and it got heated a little bit. I told them that the Champions League sometimes takes away the spotlight from the people who actually perform better than the players who actually won the Champions League. We got a lot of players on this list that they are not on this list, that they don't really deserve to be contenders to win the Ballon d'Or. They're just adding up the numbers of the Ballon d'Or. So we had a very good talk, and it got heated once I told them that the Champions League, if a team wins the Champions League, and there are still some of the players that don't deserve to be contenders to win the Ballon d'Or, Ousmane Dembele is one of them. I don't believe that as much as he had a crazy season, not the season, half season starting from January until May, he had a crazy season. Ousmane Dembele, don't get me wrong, half season I may say. He won the Champions League with Paris Saint-Germain, very good side. PSG dominated everyone in the Champions League this season, and he won the Coupe de France with PSG, and he won the French Super Cup. All of this competition in totals, he had 52 goal contributions, 38 goals and 14 assists for Ousmane Dembele this season, or halfway season, however you want to call it. He's not a contender. Like I've said it, the spotlight of winning the Champions League actually takes if you win the you know what I'm trying to say, if you win the Champions League, the players that performed better than you, the spotlight is not going to be on them anymore, because you won the spotlight is going to be on you. And on the second place we have Rafinha. Listen to this. If you watched football last season, you watched these leagues, you watched Rafinha, you watched Dembele, you would clearly say that Rafinha had a better season than Ousmane Dembele. Why recognized? Why is he getting to be ranked number one in this Ballon d'Or is because of the Champions League spotlight. Dembele won the Champions League. He got the spotlight. If Inter Milan could have won the Champions League, who would get the spotlight? Lautaro Martinez, Chonanoglu, Barella, Achebi. Would Achebi be the best defender in the world? Would Matteo Damian be the best? The spotlight of the Champions League, it is very controversial. It doesn't really make much sense. But we have our own preferences. A lot of people might say Dembele deserves to win the Ballon d'Or because he won the Champions League. But what about players that perform better than Ousmane Dembele? Rafinha is one of them. Harry Kane, who is not even on the top 10, he performed better than Ousmane Dembele. But a lot of people don't see that fact that spotlight of that little spotlight of the Champions League. It really makes a lot of people confused on how they see how a player performed from the start of the season and to the end of the season. And I believe Rafinha is one of those players who performed from the start of the season to the end of the season. He was consistent this season. Very good player. So Rafinha starts for the season is as they follow. He had 35 goal contributions and he had 26 assists. That takes him to 61 goal contribution. This is what I say, he performed better than Ousmane Dembele. He really did. I stand on that he performed better than Ousmane Dembele. Just because he didn't win the Champions League doesn't mean that takes away the spotlight that he really deserves. Rafinha, he has been so good this season. I really love Rafinha of what he did this season, and in those 35 goal contribution, 26 assists, 61 goal contribution in all competition. In the Champions League, they came short to Inter Milan in the semi-finals, but in that season, listen to this, in that season, I don't know if I've said Ousmane Dembele's goal contribution in the Champions League. Let me just start with Ousmane Dembele. Ousmane Dembele's goal contribution in the Champions League is 8 goals and 4 assists. In the Coupe de France, he had 3 goals and 1 assist, and in French Super Cup, he had 1 goal. Rafinha in the UEFA Champions League, he had 13 goals and provided 10 assists. Copa del Rey, he had 1 goal and provided 4 assists. In the Spanish Super Cup, he had 2 goals and provided 1 assist. This is what we call a Ballon d'Or contender, to be honest. A very consistent player this season. I know it hasn't worked for him last season, with Barcelona striking and all that, but this is what we should call a Ballon d'Or contender. This is how good he has been, Ousmane Dembele, and I really believe that he should win the Ballon d'Or, Rafinha. So this is why I believe Ousmane Dembele should not win the Ballon d'Or, because he started to perform in January. That's my problem with Ousmane Dembele. He started to perform in January, so I don't think he deserves to win the Ballon d'Or. On the third position, we have Lamine Yamal. Crazy season for a 17-year-old. I don't think he should be having these numbers. It is illegal for a player to have this kind of numbers at this age that he is. In the UEFA Champions League, which they came second, which they came short to Inter Milan. Champions League, he had 5 goals and 3 assists for Barcelona in the UEFA Champions League. And then they won the Copa del Rey. They won the Spanish Super Cup, which in the Copa del Rey he got 2 goals, and in the Spanish Super Cup he got none. This is Lamine Yamal in a flesh. Then in the whole season he had 22 goals and provided 21 assists. That takes him to 43 goal contribution, winning the La Liga Young Player of the Season. Yep, my flashlight on my phone turned off. So yeah, so this is Lamine Yamal at his best, and I still believe that we're gonna see more of Lamine Yamal, and these numbers are still going to increase and more because of how good Lamine Yamal has been this season. On the fourth position, this is very controversial. This is I really don't like this, how they place these rankings, but it doesn't matter. My thought doesn't matter. You might probably think that my thoughts and my ball knowledge is dog shit. This ranking, some of these players, they had a good season, but the rankings really they really don't match with how they performed this season. Achraf Hakimi, A Moroccan came in the 4th position, won the Champions League. In that Champions League, he had 4 goals and provided 5 assists, 9 goal contribution for Achraf Hakimi. And he won the Coupe de France, 1 goal and 1 assist, 2 goal contribution. French Super Cup, he didn't get none. In the whole competition, in the whole season, he had 13 goals and 13 assists. Don't get me wrong. If you see a right back with that kind of numbers, this means that he had a fantastic season. He had a fantastic season with PSG. He really does really well because of how Luis Enrique, the interchange of position in that PSG side really sets up, the wingers to go best forward and all that. He has 26 goal contribution as a right back. With those stats, you would argue that a lot of people, they are not going to say he deserves to win the Ballon d'Or because he's a right back. He all of these players like what Achraf Hakimi and this, they are just adding the numbers in the Ballon d'Or, but which I don't believe that he should win the Ballon d'Or. I don't think he should win the Ballon d'Or, and I think he's very far from winning the Ballon d'Or. Achraf Hakimi, don't get me wrong, he had a fantastic season, crazy season as a right back to get 26 goal contribution. PSG have been dominating the league French, the domestic cups in France and the Champions League. As we've seen, they dominated Inter Milan. So this is where it really pisses me off, and it makes me wanna chop off my. Okay, on the 5th position we have Mohamed Salah. Well, I think Mohamed Salah should be way more higher than Achraf Hakimi and Ousmane Dembele, who are above him. Sadly, Mohamed Salah won the Golden Boot for the Premier League and playmaker of the season. Mohamed Salah had 34 goals, 23 assists, and in all competition, that's 57 goal contributions. A crazy season for a 32-year-old Mohamed Salah, who was going into his last season on the contract, his last year left for Liverpool. He had a crazy season, 57 goal contribution for a 32-year-old man. That's how good Mohamed Salah is. A lot of people are undermining how good Mohamed Salah is. He really had a fantastic season, Mohamed Salah, I don't want to lie. As a Liverpool fan, I've never seen him taking things so personal for himself to deliver the Premier League for Liverpool. And also really, it's just a dip of form. Liverpool could have won all of these trophies if it wasn't for PSG. I really believe that the only team that was going to stop us, Liverpool, it was only going to be Barcelona. And sadly, we got PSG, and they made our road very short. And in that season, Mohamed Salah, Carabao Cup finalist, he had 2 goals and 1 assist in the Carabao Cup. FA Cup, it didn't take place because we got eliminated in 4th round. We also got eliminated in the round of 16. In the Champions League. In the Premier League, he had 29 goals and provided 18 assists. That's 47 goal contribution, tying with Alan Shearer. I think it was Alan Shearer or Thierry Henry, somewhere there. A crazy season for Mohamed Salah, a solid worthy contender of winning the Ballon d'Or. On the 6th position, we have Vitinha, a brilliant Vitinha this season. He's been so good. I think him and Pedri are the only 2 best midfielders in the world left right now. And behind them, I see, in terms of the ability and how they perform, there's a player that I really like so much, and it is Joshua Kimmich. I believe if he doesn't get that much of the spotlight because he plays in Germany, but a lot of people that really actually follows Joshua Kimmich and Bayern Munich and how he plays internationally and in the club. He is so consistent. That lad is so consistent that he keeps on going. You can see how always motivated he is, Joshua Kimmich. He's very passionate about what he's doing. He doesn't complain that much. If he plays as centre back, if he plays as a right back or a midfield, he always does this, but he gives 100%. That is my top 3 best midfielders in the world. Pedri, Vitinha, and Joshua Kimmich, world class players. Moving on to Vitinha, he had 7 goals, 4 assists, 11 goal contribution. Like I said, I don't know how accurate these stats are. He won the Champions League, of course. In the Champions League, he scored 2 goals and provided 2 assists, 4 goal contribution. Coupe de France, he had none. French Super Cup, he had none. And he UEFA Nations League, he won it with Portugal. Fantastic season for Vitinha. Like I've said, these are the type of players that are just adding up the numbers in the Ballon d'Or. They are not actually really that solid into winning the Ballon d'Or this season. On the seventh position, we have Krejci Kvaratskhelia, a player PSG signed from Napoli. Don't forget that in January. And in that January, from January to May, he got 7 goals and provided 4 assists. That's 11 goal contribution. Won the Champions League, of course, scoring 3 goals and providing 2 assists, 5 goal contribution. Coupe de France, he had one assist. French Super Cup, he didn't get none. Then in the Serie A, when the season started, he had 5 goals and 3 assists for Napoli before he moved to PSG. Very good season for Krejci Kvaratskhelia. Not a mad season, because I believe if he could have joined the PSG later in the summer, like in May or August, he could have had bigger numbers. But below him is Fabian Ruiz. Fabian Ruiz is one of the most underrated midfield I've seen this season. He plays really well, very calm, composed player. You can see his qualities. You could see his qualities when he was still playing at Real Betis. I believe he played for Real Betis, and he went to Napoli. You could see the qualities that he possesses as a player. And as time goes on and he got older, he got more experience, and he actually does things like they are pretty simple. A fantastic season for Fabian Ruiz, basically because the PSG have been really dominating. Fabian Ruiz this season, 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 goal contribution. UEFA Champions League winner, 1 goal, 4 assists, 5 goal contribution. When we move on to the other one, he won the French Super Cup and the Coupe de France, which in the French Super Cup he had 1 assist. UEFA Nations League semi-finalist with Spain. Fantastic season, not really crazy. I cannot expect much from a midfielder like Fabian Ruiz, who is old. I'm not going to expect him to get above 30 goal contribution in a season, because he's so experienced in this kind of situation that he knows how to deal with. When you can see when he plays, he does not know what pressure is. Fabian Ruiz rarely loses the ball. In the 9th position, which I believe this is the best position for this player, Nuno Mendes. In the 9th position, 6 goals, 6 assists, 12 goal contribution in all competition. UEFA Champions League winner. He had 4 goals, 2 assists. Coupe de France, 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 goal contribution in Coupe de France. French Super Cup, he didn't get any. And UEFA Nations League winner with Portugal. Really, really good season for Nuno Mendes. Pocket every single opponent that he came against, from Salah to Lamine to Ronaldo to whoever who was not Ronaldo, to everyone who came against Nuno Mendes. He picked pocket them, put them in the pocket, and went home with them. He couldn't pocket Cole Palmer, unfortunately, but it does not take away how good of the season he had. Nuno Mendes, best left back in the world currently. And in the 10th position, which I believe this player should be up there, he shouldn't be in the 10th position. There are a lot of players who should be in this list that they are not, sadly. Is Kylian Mbappe. Wow, what a season he had. Because I don't love Real Madrid, I never really saw his stats that much, but when I saw them today in the morning, when I did the researches, and I thought, oh my God, this is his worst season. This is Kylian Mbappe's worst season. As the spectators say, this is his worst season because he wasn't performing well when the season started. 45 goals, 7 assists, 52 goal contribution. His worst season. Remember that this is his worst season. UEFA Champions League got eliminated in the quarterfinals by Arsenal. In the Champions League campaign, he scored 7 goals and provided 1 assist, 8-goal contribution from Mbappe. Copa del Rey finalist, 2 goals, no assist. Spanish Super Cup, 1 goal, no assist. UEFA Super Cup, which they beat Atalanta, he scored 1 goal. You can see how much quality Kylian Mbappe still possesses, even though he doesn't do that much. He is really good, Kylian Mbappe. I don't want to lie. This stats, when I saw them this morning, I was actually shocked that 45 goals and 7 assists, 52 goal contribution in his worst season for Kylian Mbappe. So this is one of the players I believe he should be up higher. Yes, this season he hasn't won any trophies. The FIFA Club World Cup was his last chance, but he couldn't. So moving on, I'm gonna finish this video with like this. I'm going to give you, wow, my head is shining, bro, damn. So this is my actually rating for the Ballon d'Or, how I would prefer this Ballon d'Or to be. Like, on the first position, I would go for Mohamed Salah, basically because I'm a Liverpool fan. I really want Mohamed Salah to win the Ballon d'Or this season. If he could win it this season, it would be great. This is his last season, but I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back next season and puts up crazy numbers, because he's been doing this for the past 8 years. He's been consistent for the past 8 years in Liverpool, scoring 20 plus goals per season. I think he's the only player to do that. I'm not sure in the Premier League. I haven't done my researches on Mohamed Salah that much, but he's a crazy player who delivers crazy numbers. Mohamed Salah for me should win the Ballon d'Or. Personally, I really believe that he had a crazy season for Liverpool, delivering the Premier League. He came short against PSG. If we could have done something maybe different in that PSG, we could have won. I believe so. I believe we could have won the UEFA Champions League this season. On the second place, I've placed Rafinha because of this crazy season of he had. I could have put him first. I wouldn't mind Rafinha winning the Ballon d'Or. Crazy season at first, because I was really focused on Mohamed Salah's performance at Liverpool. I wasn't really paying that much attention to Rafinha, but when the season started and he kept on going, then he kind of reminded me of who he was. The player. This is the player that we used to see at Leeds United. Just because Leeds United were not really that great, he couldn't have this kind of numbers, but you could see in him that he had this player in him that would deliver all this kind of crazy goals. Rafinha for me should be second or first. Crazy season for these two players. Lamine Yamal third, because as a 17-year-old, it should be illegal for you to have that kind of numbers. 42, 43 goal contribution for a 17-year-old kid who won 3 trophies this season is mental. Really mental for Lamine Yamal. The fourth position, Ousmane Dembele, basically because he won the Ballon, he won the UEFA Champions League. He really a dominant side in PSG. I put in a fourth position because he won the Champions League. But I still think that there are good amount of players who performed better than Ousmane Dembele, who should be above Ousmane Dembele. Harry Kane on the fifth position. I really love Harry Kane's season this season. I really came so close of winning the European Golden Boot. Luckily, sadly went to Kylian Mbappe. On the sixth position, I've put Pedri Gonzalez because of how good he is. I really love how he plays. Pedri Gonzalez is one of my favorite midfielders in the world, one of them. He plays really well. I enjoy watching Pedri so much. This season has been very crucial for Barcelona and how successful they are because of this lad. Really nice season for Pedri. Avoided injuries, that's where we see the best of Pedri. And on the seventh position, I've put Robert Lewandowski. Why? Because he's so old that a lot of people, including me, I was saying that Barcelona should sell him because he's getting old. I felt like he is dragging us down while we're trying to move forward, because of his age. When the results were not going our way, we would criticize him that way, maybe thinking that he's the problem, not knowing that he's not the problem. He is actually really good. Robert Lewandowski at this age is really good. Fantastic season for Robert Lewandowski. On the eighth position, a lot of people might not agree with me, but I've put Vitinha in him. Like I've said before, the video started is there's only two midfielders that I rate so much highly is Pedri and Vitinha, which Vitinha had a crazy season with PSG, won the Champions League, as we have seen. He's a very good midfielder, controlling the ball, controlling the tempo, connecting plays, really good going forward. He has a eye for and pass. He's very that good. And on the ninth position, I've put Kylian Mbappe based because he didn't win any trophies, but I still believe he's still high up there. But when I look of the players that are above Kylian Mbappe, they actually had really good season, a solid season that they should be above Kylian Mbappe. So it's a really this Ballon d'Or rankings, man, is so emotionally draining, and this. I really hope it goes the right way, the Ballon d'Or. I'm not gonna lie. But I still cannot fathom the fact that Ousmane Dembele really has a good chance of winning the Ballon d'Or. But what are we gonna do about it? We just have to deal with it. There's a lot of controversial going on in France. A lot of people with black suits, they are going behind closed doors and doing their shenanigans. But I really hope it lands in a good hand. Whoever wins it, man, fuck it, man. But I just want Mohamed Salah to win the Ballon d'Or this season. That's the only thing that I would ask. If he doesn't win it, then we don't care. I really care about Mohamed Salah that much, but if he does not win the Ballon d'Or, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back this season that is going to start in August and deliver again and show the world how good he is. Very, very good topic, and I hope you guys enjoy watching this video. And I believe, like I've said, just a little aim: 1 subscriber, 1 viewer, 1 like. Done. We done with this, and I believe y'all should stay awesome, and I'll see you on the next videos.